I would like to discuss about active disturbance rejection control. So this is an innovative control scheme which primarily aims to reject the disturbances. Now let us talk about these disturbances. If you consider any process or a system which is to be controlled, if you observe the model based control approaches, the first thing that we do is we apply some physical laws based on which this particular process will be modeled. Okay. In the process of modeling this particular system, usually there will be some mathematical simplifications which will lead to some modeling errors. Sometimes it may happen because we oversimplify the model to make it easy for the controller to design, because in the model based approach the controller will be designed based on the model, so the model must be simpler. Because of this there may be some errors called modeling errors. Apart from these modeling errors, during the operation, any process during the operation, it may undergo some parameter variations, and because of these parameter variations there is a possibility that our controller, which we have designed based on a certain model, will not be as effective as earlier. So this is another aspect, model parameter variation. Apart from these two aspects, we still have another important aspect called disturbance. So any system that we want to design will be subjected to certain disturbance. Okay. So the modeling errors and parameter variations, we will call it as internal disturbances, and the disturbance which is applied on the process during its operation, we will call it as external disturbance. In spite of internal disturbance and external disturbance, our objective is to propose a controller which meets the requirement of the user, at the same time handling internal and external disturbances satisfactorily. So in other words, the controller is burdened in two ways. The one is it should satisfy a specified closed loop performance, and the second aspect is it must properly handle disturbances. These two aspects should be handled by the controller simultaneously. So because of these two aspects, there is a very much possibility that the controller that we finally design will be complex. Sometimes we intentionally include some non-linearities in the design in order to achieve these performance and rejecting the disturbance at the same time. So the controller design will become complex. So to overcome this problem, in a sense, the active disturbance rejection scheme actually decouples these two issues and makes the controller simpler. So if you observe the structure of active disturbance rejection control, it basically consists of two parts. One is called the rejector, the second part is called the controller. As discussed earlier, any system will be subjected to internal disturbance and external disturbance. So the unknown dynamics, modeling errors, parametric variations, non-linearities, all these come under internal disturbance, and whatever the disturbance the system will be experiencing, that is called the external disturbance, load disturbance. Okay. Here in ADRC there is a very innovative or nice arrangement that we have something called a resector which aims to nullify the effects of internal disturbance and external disturbance. Once these disturbances are resected, the remaining part which the controller sees will be much simpler, and our controller design becomes simple, because now the controller job is just to achieve the closed loop performance rather than handling the disturbances. The disturbance handling will be done by this resector part, whereas the controller will simply control the plant, and the plant which the controller will control will be much simpler, because all the deformities are actually rejected by the resector part. Hope this is clear. Right. Now, how to achieve this? How to get this resector? How to design this resector? In state feedback control, you know something called observer. So what is an observer? An observer is one which takes known information as inputs. For example, the measured response and the control input. Known information will be taken as output, and it will estimate the states of the system. That is the function of an observer, conventional Lumberger observer. And please note that the number of states that the observer is going to observe will be equal to the order of the system. For example, if you design an nth order system, if we have a plant with nth order dynamics, the observer is going to estimate n states. Right. Now, for rejecting the disturbances, here we are going to use something called an extended state observer. So it is also a Lumberger observer, but there is a special arrangement by which the disturbances which the process is subjected to, that is the internal and external disturbances, will be estimated as an additional state, and that additional state will be cancelled in real time. This is the innovative part of the active decimal rejection control. In real time it will be cancelled. So the observer, apart from estimating the states of the system, it also estimates disturbances as an extra state variable. So obviously, if the order of the system is nth order system, our extended state observer will be having an order of n plus 1. Right. So let us see. Let us illustrate the active disturbance rejection control design with the help of a simple example. As an example, let us consider a second order system. And for this second order system, we are trying to design the active disturbance rejection control scheme. Let us consider a standard second order system. Y of s by u of s equal to k by t square s square plus 2d ts plus 1. First, let us convert this into time domain. Simply by cross multiplying, we will get minus 2d by t y dot minus 1 by t square y, right, plus 1 by t into d of t plus k by t square into u of t. This we can obtain from this equation. Note that this d of t is something called external disturbance. We are including this external disturbance into our system dynamics. Now let us observe here. This is the crucial part in the design of ADRC. Now if you observe, this is the system, and K, T, D, these are all system dynamics, system parameters, which we don't know. Actually, there will be some modeling errors, there will be some parameter changes. Okay, so these are unknown terms, they are not actually known. So what we will do is, we will combine all these terms into a single term. Okay, and let us call that single term as f of t, plus let us take k by t square as some b naught into u of t. This is the crucial step in active distribution control. Okay, the effect of the disturbance, external disturbance, and the effects of the internal dynamics of the system are combined into a single variable, or in other words, it is lumped into a single variable known as lumped disturbance. Now if you observe, this is the original dynamics of the system, this is reformulated dynamics. Now our design will be based on this equation. In this equation, from this equation we can understand that it is not depending upon any of the system parameters. All the system parameters are included within this term called f. That means we don't need any model information except b naught. Okay. In some cases, b naught is also taken as one of the tuning parameters. We will see that later. Now let us convert this into state space form. So if we convert this into state space form, how to write? Let us take x1 is equal to y, x2 is equal to y dot, x3 is equal to f. Now observe, the order of the system is a second order system. The number of state variables will be 3, because this is the extra state variable, that is the lumped disturbance, and this lumped disturbance that we are going to estimate using an extended state observer, and we are going to cancel this state in real time, so that the controller will see a simple system. So let us represent in state space form x1 dot, x2 dot, x3 dot is equal to, so x1, x2, x3 as bu plus f dot. Now x1 dot is equal to, x1 dot if you take, it is nothing but equal to y dot is nothing but equal to x2, so this will be 0 1 0, this is 0 and this is 0. x2 dot is 0 0 1, this is b naught and this is 0, and x3 dot is 0 0 0 and 1. x3 dot is nothing but f dot, and x2 dot is nothing but y double dot. Y double dot is equal to, actually it is x-ray plus b naught into u. This is also 0. Now what is y? Y is obviously 1 0 0 into x1, x2, x3. Now this is the reformulated system. Now for this system we are going to design the extended state observer, ASO. Extended state observer design is very simple. It is similar to that of a Lumberger observer. And what is the basic Lumberger observer equation? We know this, x hat dot is equal to ax hat plus bu plus L into y minus y hat. Right, here A is nothing but this particular matrix, B is this, and L is the observer matrix. Okay, and with the help of this we are going to design an observer. Right, when you appropriately select this L, this extended state observer is going to estimate the states exactly. So the estimated states will be x1 cap, x2 hat and x3 hat. So the estimated efficiency depends upon how you select this observer gains. Now coming to the control law. So what is the control law? If you recollect the system, what is the system? Y double dot is equal to f of t plus b naught into u. Now how do you design u? How do you design the control signal? Very simple. I want to design this control signal in such a way that the external disturbance gets, or the lumped disturbance gets cancelled in real time. So we can make u naught minus f hat. F hat is nothing but x3 hat by b naught. Now if you substitute this in this equation, what you are going to get? Y double dot is equal to u naught, right? U naught of t. Now if you take Laplace transforms on both sides, so y of s by u of s is equal to 1 by s square. Now if you observe here, because of extended state observer, the original system has been simplified into this form. Now the controller will see the system of the form 1 by s square. So we can design u naught quite simpler. How to select u naught? U naught can be selected like this: k1 into r minus x1 hat, k2 into x2 hat. What is the overall control law? Overall control law, u is equal to k1 into r minus x1 hat minus k into x2 hat minus x3 hat by b naught. This is the overall control law. See, a simple control law is sufficient to control 1 by s square. Already there is an integrator, so a simple PD controller is sufficient to control the system. Now here you observe here, for proper design we need to select the matrix L as well as these gains k1, k2 appropriately. Then only we can achieve the desired performance. Now let us draw the block diagram based on this information. So we have the original system here, second order system, let us say that is GP, and Y is the output, U is the input. For this system we are going to design an extended state observer. And what are the inputs to extended state observer? Two inputs. One is the control signal, the second one is the measured output. Now this is going to estimate three state variables. This is the estimate of x3 hat. Okay, this is x3 hat. We will cancel that disturbance in real time, multiply with b naught, you are going to get u naught. Right, how to get u naught? As I said earlier, it is a simple PD controller. Now this is the reference according to this control law, Please observe here the controller. So this is nothing but x1 hat, r minus x1 hat. This must be multiplied with gain k1. Then this is x2 hat. So this is the overall structure of active destination control. This is the ejector part and this is the controller part. Now if you properly design, if you observe here, this is the rejector. Okay. Now with this the system becomes y by u naught is equal to 1 by s square, and this can be simply controlled by a very simple controller. Thank you for listening.